Hi guys, it's Ricky Ricardo, and this is season 5 of the Qaurantine World. This season, I decided to go on the road. So unlike previous seasons where I do 10 episodes in one city, this season will be, it'll be 10 episodes probably, maybe more, because this is going to be an exciting season. I'm really proud of and excited for the season. But it's a different take. Instead of every episode being in the same city, this season is going to be on the road. And every episode will be a different city or town. And we're going to go across a couple of states as well. To start with, we are going to be in Central Florida. And today on episode 1, we are going to go to one of my favorite diners here in East Central Florida. Well, no, actually, I think it's West Central Florida. Yeah, it's West Central Florida, my bad. And we're going to go have lunch and speak with the owner of the diner and get her take on the virus and how it has affected her personally and with her business. And so let's, without further ado, let's get some food at the Race Car Diner. See you there, guys. All right, guys. So I'm walking down to the Race Car Diner now. So I'm in Astatula, Florida, on 561. If you're ever traveling through here, it's a quiet little town. I mean, basically we call it a village. Because there's only 2,000 people who claim residency here. There's a gas station, there is a post office, there is a Dollar General, and the Race Car Diner, along with a couple churches, and a town hall. And Lake County Sheriff does have a post here, but that is about all you will find in Astatula, Florida. But you will find some good people, and you will find the best food in West Central Florida. So if you're ever traveling from down 561 and you have to go through Astatula, and you're doing it between the hours of 7 a.m. and 2 p.m., I highly recommend that you stop at the Race Car Diner. And you're about to see why. When I get there and interview the owner, I'm going to get some food as well. So you will see what the diner has to offer. But I'm walking because, like I said, the town is very small. So it literally is like right around the corner from me. But also, I have been up north most of the winter. And I am very blessed to be down here. And I'm taking full advantage of being outside. And so since I've been cooped up in the house like most of the winter, I'm choosing to be outside as much as possible now. And here's a Pace Concrete as well. They do have that here in Astatula. It's fairly big plant, actually, and I would say it's probably the one con to living here, because you can hear them throughout the night. I mean, literally, because the town is so quiet at night, you could hear it almost across the whole town. And that to me is the one negative downfall, is being able to hear that all through the night. But if that's the worst thing, I think I could gladly live with that. See you at the diner, guys. So here I am at the diner, guys. Race Car Diner. About to go inside, have some great food, the best food in West Central Florida, and one of the best people I've ever met. Hey, how's it going?
I got you ready.
Sweet. So guys, I'm so excited. This is Jamie.
Hi, nice to meet you.
She is one of the first people I met down in West Central Florida, the farthest west suburbs of Orlando, basically. Yeah. And she is kind of the owner, or
I'm the owner's daughter.
of the only cafe restaurant in Asatula, Florida, and it is amazing. I'm so glad to be here. I'm really glad that she offered to take time to answer some questions about how the pandemic coronavirus has affected her and this restaurant. So, how has it affected you personally?
Personally, it was a blessing because I was actually pregnant during the COVID, and I got put on maternity leave.
Sweet.
So it helped me because I could still come to work every day and sit and take orders on the phone and just walk them to cars. So that helped us. We were actually super busy with all of our locals trying to keep us in business. So they would come get takeout, and they would get breakfast, lunch, and then at lunch they would get dinner as well.
Sweet.
So it helped us a lot during COVID.
Now,
Once they reopened the restaurants, that's when it kind of went downhill a little bit for us because people didn't want to come sit down.
Okay.
So we were busier when we were shut down, takeout only, than we were when they had open dining room.
oh wow. I mean, so then the fear obviously was still there for people.
Right.
Gotcha.
With
now,
this being so small,
yeah, I would say it will. I mean, I guess maybe give you guys a little bit of a shot of how. It's just a small, like, locally ball pop owned cafe, but it is very good food and good people own it. So if you're ever going down 561 between the hours of 7 a.m. and 2 p.m., right? Stop in and get yourself, make a pit stop at the Race Car Diner. But now, right, so Asatula is a town of 2,000 people. You're the only restaurant here. What made you decide to put a restaurant in a town so small?
this is actually the old post office from 1950.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Somebody made it a restaurant, I believe, in the 80s, early 90s. And when I met my husband, I was a bartender, and he was in law enforcement, so he didn't like the bartending thing. So his parents at the time owned the restaurant. And he says, well, come over here. We'll make sure you don't struggle. We'll give you a job. So I started here in 2006.
Nice.
And in 2007, his family's health went bad. His dad had a quadruple bypass.
Oh, wow.
His mom got cancer. So they sold the restaurant, and I was like, where am I going to be now?
Yeah.
So the guy that bought it offered me to run the place, and he paid me to run it. And it was an amazing experience. I worked Monday through Friday from 7 to 2. I was home every night with my kids. It was nice. With my husband in law enforcement, he worked nights or he worked days, so we didn't have to have a babysitter at night or whatever. So then that guy decided he wanted to sell the restaurant because it was just too much. And then a guy named Ralph bought it from Mary's Country Kitchen. He owned that.
Okay. Now that's the one that's right down the street, the Mexican restaurant. Or
No,
Mexican
that's a mom and pop's place as well.
Okay.
But I think it seats like 100 people. So
Oh, gotcha.
it's huge.
Gotcha.
And so he come over and he fired everybody that worked here except for me, and I waitressed.
Wow.
And he opened 7 days a week, which was a big shock to me. So then I had to work weekends because he wanted me here on the weekends. After that, he decided he wanted to sell, and at that point I didn't know what to do because I had already been here 9 years.
Yeah.
So my mom had lost her job, and I had hired her when he worked here, and she was a dishwasher and a cook. And so she says, I want to buy the restaurant, make it a family business. You waitress, I'll pay the bills and cook. And we've been here 7 more years. So
That's fantastic. Like, I mean, it's kind of funny how it went from your husband's family
To
through
my
this little
family.
process to your family. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, did you guys have to make any huge changes due to the pandemic? Like, I mean,
well, you're not supposed to have any condiments on the table, silverware on the table when the customer comes. You're supposed to give you packets, plastic silverware. So we've gone from plates that, of course, you can't eat on baskets for breakfast. So at breakfast you get a plate, at lunch you get a basket.
gotcha.
So that's changed. The sanitary's changed completely. Like, you have to bleach the table. I mean, we do a lot of cleaning. Of course, you gotta clean the pens when you pay with a credit card. For the longest time, we would ask, what would you like to tip? And then not even let them
Gotcha.
mess with anything.
Wow.
For the longest time, we did curbside service for the older people that didn't want to risk it, and I would wear a mask to the car to take their order, or they would call their order in. That I still do for some people. So
That's awesome.
we're only 6 tables, so we seat 24 people. So in a small town like this, you have to accommodate as much as you can, because I can't afford to lose any more business.
Yeah, and then also, you know, you're really the only option.
Right.
Like, so
You
that
have your
does help you
food
guys
trucks
out.
here or there that have been coming to town because they know we're the only people here. So now we have a taco truck down the road and a fajita truck down the road for the people. And it's mostly lunch and dinner, but
Now, did you have you ever been open for dinner, or
we tried dinner for probably a year. And since we only have 6 tables, people want to socialize and enjoy dinner. They're not in a rush like at lunch. You get a 30-minute lunch break, you're in and out.
Yeah.
I can flip tables fast. At dinner time, I can't do that.
yeah?
So we weren't as busy as we wanted to be.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't worth hiring more people, because I can't work from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. I have 4 children. So it wasn't feasible for us. So
Gotcha.
that's why we just stayed there. Now, we thought about opening just like a couple nights a week, takeout, so where you could come take your dinner and take it home. But it's one of those things, people don't want to get out of Asatula. They don't want to stay in Asatula for
Yeah.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Well, and then the consistency too. Like, you know what I mean? Because you gotta build that up. So like, if you don't put the time into building it up, you don't see the return.
Right.
And so that does kind of.
My mom plans on retiring in the next 5 years, so in 5 years we'll see what the future holds.
Gotcha. Now, do you plan on taking over when that happens, or?
I'm torn. This building needs a lot of work. It's old, and it would probably take $100,000 to get it the way I want it,
Gotcha.
because I'm very OCD and picky. So
Now, I do notice that like there's empty lot like next to you. Is there
it's
any?
owned by the church across the street.
Oh, I was just saying, like, is there any possibility of expanding?
No.
Gotcha. Now, like as far as like maybe not like as far as the restaurant goes, but like in West Central Florida, what other things have had? Do you know like any of the numbers, like as far as like coronavirus cases or fatalities or?
I don't like the coronavirus. I think it's a bunch of bull crap. I think that they doctor it up to make it look worse than it actually is. I believe it's just a flu. That's my personal intake. I have a son in high school and a son in elementary school. I get a call every single day that, oh, this person has to be quarantined. We had a case in the school. So there's a lot going around. To me, I'm not scared of it. I just go through everyday life. I don't wear a mask unless it's required and I have to. My husband will not wear a mask. If you have to wear a mask, he will go to that store
Gotcha.
or that restaurant or anywhere like that.
Now, what changes have you noticed with him and the fact with him being a law enforcement? Like, what has he had to endure?
They're supposed to wear a mask when they go on calls. To me, I think that ruins your right. I mean, you should have the right to do what you want to do.
I agree. I feel the same way.
They actually just recently got a complaint of one of their officers going into a store without a mask on, and somebody called and complained. To me, it's up to that officer. That officer wasn't on duty. He was wearing his uniform, but he wasn't on duty.
Gotcha.
So, but now they had to make it mandatory that you wear a mask while in uniform.
That's
to
crazy.
make people happy.
That's basically what it is. It's just make people happy. And for me, I understand, like, there's the virus is not, it's not like it's fake. I mean, please, anyone, don't think I'm saying it's fake, but I do think it's sensationalized, and you guys all know that, and I do think it's man-made. But honestly, though, we should have the right to be able to go out and live our daily lives.
Hey Rex, how are you?
Without having to be susceptible to other people's fears. I mean, if you're scared, then you stay home. Then you wear the mask. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. But like when I was in New York City, which, you know, everyone's been watching the show, season 3 was New York City, the cops there didn't wear them. And I thought that was really funny, considering that was like the hub, like where everything's supposedly, you know, going to hell, and like everyone was dying and being tossed into like mass graves. And I didn't see any of that like in person. And the police there were not wearing masks. So if they don't have to wear them there, then why here? Especially like.
And we have a great governor in Florida. Like,
I really like DeSantis too.
He is amazing, and he says it is not mandated to wear a mask. Why you still go to a store and you have to wear a mask baffles me, because my governor said they don't have to. So,
but like one of the things before I left down here last year, that really got me was DeSantis when he did the I guess the pandemic like orders or whatever. The first thing like on it was that churches were allowed to have service, and a lot of churches still did not do that. And that, like, to me, because I mean, my beliefs, and I know you're a Christian as well, that kind of bothered me. But you were blessed in the fact that your church did drive-through services. And so you were blessed by being a member of a church who chose to respect people's fears and wishes and stuff, to where you didn't have like in-house services, but you guys still congregated in the parking lot and did drive-through services or whatever.
We did an Easter drive-through service that was amazing. So they had a big screen, and then you drove your car, and then every time you wanted to say amen or God bless or God is good, you honked your horn.
That's awesome.
So they would know. And then I was actually supposed to get baptized on Easter, so I was really bummed out because we couldn't do it. So he actually threw in the service, and Jamie Brown, turn your windshield wipers on and I baptize you. So it was really cool. I mean, it wasn't the real thing, but he still acknowledged out of a church of thousands of people that I wanted to be baptized, and he knew that I was upset. So we did that, and then I actually got baptized in church in August. And then my husband wasn't ready yet, and he surprised us on Christmas Eve service, and we had no idea. And he actually got baptized on Christmas Eve.
But he had already
talking to the pastor.
That's awesome.
So the pastor, the whole Christmas Eve service at the beginning, kept staring at me, and we sit in the front row, so it was like really like, okay, is my shirt too low? Like, I'm pulling my shirt up. I had no idea why he kept staring at me. Well, my husband then told me, babe, I got to go to the bathroom. And he was in the bathroom 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, well, maybe his stomach's upset. I'm like, I don't know. And the pastor told me after, I was just trying to make sure you weren't going to get up trying to go look for him, because he was in the back with our assistant getting ready to be baptized.
That's so awesome.
So it was really cool.
Now, so you guys are back in church, like regular
We're back
services?
in church. They took away our Saturday night services, so they just have Sunday 9:15 and 11:15. But we still have on Monday, the third Monday, we still have men's group. The second Monday we have women's group. So we still have groups. Youth group is on Sundays.
Now, do you mind saying what church and where it's located?
We go to Real Life in Mount Dora. There's also one in Claremont, DeSoto, Orlando. Claremont's the main campus. There are probably, I'd say 20,000 people that go to Real Life, if not more. They still do the online, if you want to do online, you can watch. They have a YouTube channel.
I say I used to do the link. Like I think it was Easter time last year, and I did like actually watch it a couple times and did the like communion. Like I pulled out, I think it was like Ritz crackers and like some kind of juice.
Yeah.
That like 'cause I wasn't expecting it.
And we actually do communion every week. So as long as church is on Sunday, we do communion. You get a little cup now. They used to walk down. And now you get a little cup, and it has a little cracker on the top. You peel it, and then it's a little grape juice that you do.
Now, do you have like a link you could send to my messenger, and then I can put the link in the description box, guys, if you want to check it out. It was a positive experience for me as far as the online services go. I don't really like online services because I really feel like as a faith and as the body of Christ, we should be physically together. But at the time, with everything that was going on and what the world was going through, it helped, So I was really blessed in the fact that because I was alone on Easter. I don't have children. I'm not married. So like I was literally alone, and so that real life broadcast really helped me out a lot. So I'll put the link in the description box if you guys want to check that out. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
I think we're good. Thank you for your business.
Anytime I'm down here, I'll be in like every day, like because it's good food, and I really love you. I'm really glad I met you.
Well, you touched me when I first met you because I was just starting to go to church, so meeting you was really amazing.
See, I never knew that.
Yeah.
We just got to talking, so I guess because it wasn't even until like you got baptized that I knew that you hadn't been baptized.
Right. Well, my dad grew up in a church, so when I grew up, my dad's a hippie, so my dad was not like, I'm not going to church, I'm not forcing you to go to church. So growing up, I would go with like my friends, but it was just, I felt like they're just preaching the Bible to you, like that's so boring, and I didn't like going. And then when I got married, my husband was Lutheran, so his church didn't have anything for the kids. So you went there and you had to be quiet. Like if your child made a peep, they're staring at you. Like I felt uncomfortable.
The only time I've ever really been in a Lutheran church was at a funeral, and I was
Yeah, they wear robes and you have to dress up, and I'm like, I just don't like this. And then I own an ice cream truck, and I got a phone call one night. Hey, are you in the Eustis area selling ice cream? And I'm like, yeah. Can you swing by my house? And I was kind of nervous because it was about to be dark. I'm a single female. I drive it by myself. And something told me to go. And that was the preacher at the church.
So awesome.
And he says, hey, thanks for coming and spending time. And he's like, I want to hire you guys and sell ice cream at the church. So I'm like, okay. So I sent my husband, and my husband's like, I really like this church. I think we should go. And I'm like, okay. Because he was Lutheran, so like he never wanted to outbreak anything. And he lost his mom a year before that. So it changed our life completely, going to real life.
It's funny how some things can be a blessing in disguise. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, no one ever wants to lose their parents, but it is part of life. And, through that, God was able to speak to him.
Yeah. Through that, God spoke to us. He changed our life. We did the Dave Ramsey class. So during the COVID, we actually had money in the bank. We didn't struggle. We got blessed with a daughter after 3 boys.
I know you were really excited for that.
Yeah.
Because I was actually in here when she was pregnant, guys.
And my husband got out of law enforcement, decided he was going to do something else, and then realized that he loved law enforcement. That's his life. And he ended up going back right after. I think he left law enforcement when we first started going to church, and he ended up going back, and within 6 months he got promoted to the lieutenant.
Wow.
So all because it changed, church changed him, God changed him, God talked to him and helped him, so
and
become a better person.
Well, yeah, and like I feel like probably you also make him realize that his service to humanity is law enforcement.
Right.
That is his calling.
Yes.
So that's amazing.
So,
Well, thank you so much for
you.
sitting down with me.
Thank you.
So good to see you again. And
You
like
too.
I'm gonna be here in the area for like a month, so you'll definitely be seeing a
not
lot.
long enough.
But
I keep up with you on Facebook. So.
yeah. But no, it really means a lot to me that you just said that, because I had no idea how much like
Yeah, you influenced me a lot. And then when you asked me to make the sign, that was like
my
really
profile
hard.
picture on Facebook. She actually made that sign for me.
Yeah, I loved it.
So, thank you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you.
Have a great day.
You too. Love ya.
Well, guys, that was the Race Car Diner and a good friend of mine, Jamie. She's awesome. Like I said, if you're ever in West Central Florida, West Central suburbs of Orlando, going down 561, stop in and get some breakfast or lunch at the Race Car Diner. It's fantastic. And that is episode 1 of season 5 of the Qaurantine World. I hope you enjoyed it, and join me next week and find out what city we will be in next week. It will be a different location, and I will be interviewing more people and getting more COVID stories of how Central Florida was affected, or has been affected, and currently is affected by the coronavirus pandemic. Take it easy, guys. Love and light.